Hello motorcycle enthusiasts. Welcome back to part 2 of our motorcycle safety video series. Again, Paul Carroll, an experienced police motorcycle officer, will guide you through some essential skills to keep you safe on the road. This video will review basic braking techniques, how to turn out from a stopped position, and what to do if a rider drops their bike.
Slow speed is about finesse. All right, the bike is going to react of any drastic input you put into it. A lot of clutch out, a lot of RPM, a lot of brake, the bike's going to react in that kind. It's all about finger pressure. So when you get in that friction zone, it's not about pulling the clutch all the way in and out. It's just pulling in what you need, letting out what you need. Okay, it's about 1/8 of an inch travel to clutch lever. That's it. That's all it is. Once you get that sweet spot, you hold it there. When you need to pull clutch in, just pull the clutch in till the power comes off the wheel. All right, that way when you get set to go take off, you don't have all this clutch lever that you're trying to find the friction zone all over again. But if these nice, smooth, slow stops, you get the right foot over top of the rear brake, it allows you to feather that brake without stabbing the brake pedal. All right, so if I maybe press a little too hard, I'm off to the right third of the edge of the pedal, so therefore I'm not stabbing a lot of pressure on it and it's not going to react. Okay? So come up to a nice smooth stop, plant your left foot, right foot stays up over top of the rear brake, head and eyes up nice and high. Make sure when you're stopping, if you struggle when you're stopping with the bike going one way or the other, it's because you're looking down on the ground to plant your foot. Don't do that. Look up horizon. When I'm in traffic, and if I don't have any cars in front of me, I generally will look up at the freaking red light when I'm coming to a stop. I won't even look out, I'll just look up. It forces me, and it's amazing how more balanced you are versus look down. Because when you start looking down to plant your foot, where do you think the bike is going to go when you start looking there? It's going to start going that direction. That's why everything's all so herky-jerky and choppy, and you're like, what the hell? It's because you're actually glancing down at the ground. Keep your head on the horizon. If there's traffic in front of you, then just try to stare right in the freaking rear view window of the car or the truck. Right? And use that as a reference point and hold on to that and come a nice smooth stop. It's amazing how the bike will stay balanced. Because once I start doing this or doing this, the bike is going to start going that direction. Okay? And then you're going to go cone to cone to cone, and I'll just send you back to the beginning. We'll keep working at it. The whole object here is to come up nice smooth starts, nice smooth stops. Nice smooth starts, nice smooth stops. Staying in that friction zone, taking, when you come up to get ready to stop, you're feathering that rear brake, head on the horizon, slowly pulling that clutch off. All right? Reduce the RPM, and come to a nice smooth stop, plant the foot. Okay? Questions? All right, let's go ahead and line up and do that. I will be about midway through the pattern. I'll coach you through it. What I see, I'll correct. And then it's amazing after 2 or 3 times do this, amazing how much smoother your shots are. Remember, no front brake. Get out of that habit. All right, no duck walking. Both feet don't go on the ground at the same time. One foot, left foot, that's it. Only time you can have both feet on the ground is when you got to put them both on the ground because of the road surface is jacked up or you're backing the bike up. That's it. Remember, don't start fishing for it too soon with your foot. Start fishing a little bit too soon before the bike comes to a stop, and all of a sudden you get something that's on the ground, you're going to pull that foot all the way back towards your back, right? So be careful. Once you get ready to go out and set it, take your time. Just don't do the whole skip thing with your left foot. You can plant it on the floorboard until you're in that front and then stop, okay? Up high, have engine guards, then basically you're going to basically pull up to your front wheel is just beyond that cone gate, okay? So you want to be centered on it. You want to be in the middle of it. This whole idea is to use the same techniques that we were just using, clutch, throttle, rear brake. Now you're going to engage that from a stop. A little more challenging than it is to engage it, but there's no difference in taking off straight. Now you're just taking off at a turn. The key is that because we're taking off on a turn, you gotta have more clutch engagement. Why? Because the bike is leaning over. The more the bike leans, the more clutch you gotta have engaged, the more deeper that friction zone's gotta be. Okay? Bike straight up and down don't have to have as much friction zone because the bike's not leaning over. You don't have that weight trying to pull you to the ground. So when we go in there, I'm going to have Rob demonstrate it. I'm going to have him pull into the gate. He's going to come to a stop. Staying posture. Should not be both feet on the ground, right? Right foot's up on the floorboard. Cover the rear brake. Right third of the pedal. Left foot's planted. Head and eyes up nice and straight. I determine what direction. I'll give you what direction to go, right or left. What I want you to do is getting a habit of, I'm going to make a left turn. I want to check right for traffic. You want to get into that habit so you just don't get out there on the roadway and what you've been practicing, you're not paying attention and you're just pulling out left-hand turn. You're not even paying attention to what's coming from the right. Get into a habit. Head check, clear, traffic right. I'm going to go left. My head still is looking up at the horizon. My chin is up nice and high. I don't need to look down here. Don't even look at the cones. Pretend they're not there, because if you hit them, you're not going to feel them anyway. It doesn't matter. If this was a real situation and those were cars or a curb, big difference. So the objective is that to point the bike in the direction you want it to go, and as long as I look there, the bike will go there. Right? So when you start, once you start to feel the friction zone start to grab, once you're in that middle and you're ready to go, you're going to turn the handlebars all the way to the left or to the right. All right? And then you're going to back it up. You don't need a full lock. Turn it all the way, full left or full right, and you're going to pull back what we call in the scientific world is a scope. Who knows what a scope is? Just a little bit. All right, I don't know what a skosh means, but I just know a skosh is a little bit. Full lock, back a skosh. Full lock right, back a skosh. So if I'm going left, full left, back a skosh, checking for traffic, good to go. I got my foot already up there. All I got to do is engage clutch. Bike starts to pull. I roll some more RPM. I let more clutch out, and I lean the motorcycle and pull away. All we got to do here. Okay, don't overthink it. You start sitting there at the start, and you're like, don't do it. Pull up there and be no different than being out on this road at the stop sign. You got to make a left-hand turn. There's no difference. I'm just restricting the space in which you're doing the turn in. That's all I'm doing. It just forces you to fix your head knocks. Again, when we started this morning, I told you 90% of your problem with riding a motorcycle is head knocks. Period. Clutch, throttle, rear brake is the other 10%. And you saw it out here just doing a simple start-stop. Most of your problems was head and eyes. You start looking down, looking to the right, down left. Once I corrected you and told you to keep your chin up high, guess what you started doing? Nice, smooth, straight up and down, like balance. Why? Because you're not looking to that side. As soon as your brain starts to look here, that's where the bike is going to start to drift to. It's just the way it is. Okay? So with this, no different. Now, because I'm leaning the bike into a turn, I got to have more clutch engaged. When I engage more clutch, I got to have more RPM. So the minute you can get the RPM set, 12 to 1500, get that clutch engaged. Once it starts to move, get the foot up, right away. Okay? Don't overthink it. The bike feels like it's going over, let more clutch out. That will pull the bike and keep the bike from falling. Okay? Unless you're super lightning fast, you can freaking super flash and you can get this thing cranked that quickly. I've seen some guys do that. It can be done, but it's got to be done really fast. And with the electronics on modern day bikes, it's probably not going to crank quick enough. So, but remember that. RPM, get the RPM band range set when you engage that clutch. Once you're committed and you're going to go, I'm looking and letting the clutch out. I don't care about here. Don't look out here. If you look out there, that's where you're going to go. I guarantee you. Okay? So once that clutch is engaged, you shouldn't have to give it. You may be able to put more RPM into it. The more clutch you put in, the more RPM you can put into it. You just want to have the RPM set, because if you engage too much clutch too quickly, you're not going to bog the motor down, and motor die and bike drop. Okay? Questions? Questions? All right. So that last one was good. And then you get the second rear brake. The rear brake can help you feel like you're on the kind of got more power. But help you stall something. Running out of the pad. Okay? Again, help you go down the ride where you got it. So like if I'm making a certain hill, I'm staring midway up that bike pole. That's where I want to focus my attention. Okay? There you go. Good, nice.
That was a huge improvement.
Oh, big time. He's got a good command of his friction zone. Okay, let's look at me. Alright, let's concentrate on where I'm at. Right. I want you to ride with me. Look at me, okay? Second thing we do is we're going to reach down here and we're going to pull the clutch in. We're going to reach in with the clutch. Usually I do it standing facing the bike. So I pull the clutch and I reach in and I just want to make sure that the thing gets popping freaking neutral when it drops and make sure it's in gear. Okay? Once I've done that part, you got a cone that's kind of here in the way, but that's okay. So when we go to pick the motorcycle up, you're going to sit down into the saddle. So I want to sit down in here. And I'm going to use this engine guard right here to grab a hold of. On this side, I don't want to grab over here because this is the clutch. I don't want the wheels that are going to roll on. So I'm going to grab totally over top of the grip, but I want to pull all this in nice and tight. So basically my feet are kind of out in front of me and the thighs are kind of parallel to the ground. I'm going to reach down for this engine guard. You could reach out behind the seat right here. If you had a trunk, you could reach out here. So I'm going to reach down his engine guard, and what I'm trying to do is keep my head on the horizon, and I'm going to take small baby steps pushing back. I'm not going to try to lift this with my arms. I'm going to use my legs, and I'm just going to step back, small baby steps, pushing. Once here at this point, I'm on the side stand side, so I got to fish down here with my heel, put the side stand out, and then put the foot. If you happened on the other side, no difference. The only thing you can do on the other side is grab over the front brake lever and pull it as you're pulling up. That way if the bike's dead pop in neutral, you've got the ability to control the wheels and spinning. Okay?
What you're going to see is you turn the bike off first and then out of gear. Yeah.
And then you make an assessment. You know, you get over the fact that you dropped the bike because it happened. No matter how many times I've dropped a motorcycle, even as a motor instructor, I still drop these bikes because I'm pushing it to try to do something it's not going to do, and you know you get way overconfident in your skill set. You start slamming the bike around. But if it drops on the other side, you're going through the same technique as you did before. You're going to shut the power off on the bike. Once you get the power off, now it's going to be on the low side of the bike. Or I'm sorry, the high side of the bike. You're just going to come around the bike, make sure that the bike is in gear, pull the clutch in, shift down with your hands, the bike in gear. But what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to deploy the side stand when it's sitting on its right hand side. I'm going to pull it out. And if I forget to do that and I pull the bike up and I let it sit back, then the bike's going to go right over the other side.
I have a question. So she has a tilt mode on her bike, right? Right now, so she can't start it until she puts in her toes, right?
No. All the way over to the frame to get through this. But I need to maintain that friction zone and sense of control, whether that rear brake, keep the RPM set. And most of it is all head nod, looking where you want to put the motorcycle. Not worried about out here. Okay? Questions on picking the bike up? Clutch side stand side, so we don't have to put the side stand down, but we do got to check and make sure it's still in gear, right? So just pull the clutch in, put the foot down there, tap, 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 tap again.
Ma'am, where would you like me to help you hold your bike? I want to do it here. Why don't you want me to do that? Perfect. I'm doing it on purpose. Yeah. Educate people and
So
stop.
put your ass about midway to the edge of the seat. Get your feet out in front of you a little bit more. Okay. You're going to know, right here. You're going to pull all the slack out of that steering wheel. You're going to reach down. That's your engine guard. I want you to look up at me. I want you to take small baby steps back with your feet. Pull. There you go. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Now push down with your right heel. Nicely done. Good job.
If somebody's helping you set on 3 and count, that way I knew what you were doing. I did that on purpose so that you're not afraid to say, don't touch my bike.
Watch out, slow speeds. Even if you don't get to the pattern from just run over the cone, so be it, because these are not rubber. Right, so you had that, all you got to do is bar. And if I think I'm going too fast, just tap it with the brake. Okay?
Your rear brake and acceleration will actually hold the bike up and move you the way you want to go.
Yeah, it's always that panic when I feel that weight going over like that. It's just that nervous.
Your head and eyes have got to perceive your bar movement. So if I've got to go left, I need to look left before I turn my bars left. Why? Because as the bike is moving forward, I'm burning up freaking real estate out here. Right? And so if I'm waiting forever to turn my head, then you wonder why you're running the pattern way out wide. You start turning your head really quick. Like Jack now, he's got freaking 3 feet or more before he gets to the edge of the pattern. Why? Because the head and eyes perceive the bar movement. He clearly was looking where the motorcycle goes. Your last one, perfect. And you can get tighter and tighter just by turning your head beforehand. All right, being confident where the bike is at in the friction zone, but you nailed it on that last one. So on yours, you're doing a great job. Just turn your head before you start moving, and you'll be so much tighter each and every time.